It is now very clear that the Ugandan government passed a resolution in Parliament for the UPDF to be sent in Gaza. But because we have a competent government, the reason they gave for going in Gaza, it was so childish. And for me, I think we don't have a genuine reason for the UPDF forces to be in Gaza. And I'm going to explain this video. When this issue came on the floor of Parliament, Masiko Henry, the UPDF representative, said these statements. I want to listen very carefully because they are going to form a base for a discussion. Here's them.
It is really very surprising that anybody would be feeling unhonored that your country, working with superpowers, is being requested to participate in such an honorable cause for peace and humanitarian cause.
One, when the UPDF representative comes out to say that it is an honor for our children to go in Gaza so that they can die there, because having a peaceful, a peacekeeping mission entails losses of lives. It is not an honor. He would have given another reasons, but not being an honor. It's the reasons why such operations are brought to third world countries, because they know that since they have incompetent leadership, they can easily be induced to go on such a mission. I would be very happy if at least our officers would go to on a peacekeeping mission around Africa, because those are our brothers. But taking them miles away, even when they're neighbors, because the Gaza Strip has very many Arabic, Asians, etc. as their neighbors, they are not coming in this peacekeeping mission. And to make matters worse, even Israel is not accepting this. We may end up losing more because we are short-sighted. Let's continue with the UPDF officer.
Quite surprising. As for the doctrine of participation in military operations, the army is trained not to be in a dancing hall. The army is trained to defend humanity, defend territories against any levels of threats. So if you are saying UPDF is incapable of confronting any threats, test what we found in Mogadishu when a big force from a superpower had failed to contain the situation in Somalia.
So, also, let me go on part number 2. It is true the army is trying to defend territories, but its own territories. UPDF is trying to defend territories, the territories of Uganda. When it has to go in other countries, by the way, in other countries, they are not even defending territory. It's totally a different thing. Secondly, the point you are saying that America failed to defeat in Somalia. Right now, Somalia has never been stable almost 30 years ago. America never failed. America was tired of taking casualties because for one single American soldier to die, they'd rather lose billions of dollars. Yet on the contrary, for a Ugandan soldier, it's easy to die for as long as they get some few dollars. It is the truth. American soldier is valued so much than even gold. Yet on the contrary, a Ugandan soldier is not valued even with 10 million shillings. It is the truth. Maybe if these soldiers had come out to say there are some opportunities, our soldiers are going to make money plus this is, but the reason you gave are so frivolous. You think America with all the might, the weapons, because even the peacekeeping missions in Somalia, it is courtesy of the United States. It funds everything. Even a soldier who dies there has to be paid. So even America is still involved in the Somalia. No, in fact, the credit goes more to American and its allies more than the countries that took soldiers in Somalia, because they support everything, the machinery, the bullets, the budget, etc. Who calls the piper controls the tune. So it's not true that America failed. They only didn't want to involve their soldiers on the battlefield. Let's continue with this army man.
The first contingent which entered Mogadishu, which is an urban center, in a worse situation than what actually now is happening in Gaza Strip, should be enough testimony not to doubt the capability and the capacity of your force. You should be very, very proud as Ugandans that Uganda People's Defense Forces is viewed as the anchor of stability in a sea of turbulence regionally and now globally. I know some of you may be worried. How come it is the President of the United States that is inviting and proposing that this international stabilization force.
So that is the general. He also came out to take all the credit in Mogadishu one. The peacekeeping mission in Mogadishu is not entirely for Uganda. There are very many countries. Kenya had a force there. I think Rwanda was once there. Very many African countries. So even the credit that goes to Mogadishu is not entirely for Uganda. It's a combination of very many countries. Congo was once there. Very many countries. So there is no person who can come out and take away the credit of the peacekeeping mission in Mogadishu. The only person who can take away the credit is the United States of America and its allies, because they fund the entire budget, including the ammunition. It is true. Has Uganda contributed to the peacekeeping mission in Somalia? Of course, yes. Can the credit be taken entirely by Uganda? Of course, no. It can be taken entirely by the United States of America because it controls everything. And there was also some surprising issue that was brought out by Emmanuel Dombo. He talks about some reasons, and I think it is politics. I even think, because I sat down, the reason I'm talking about Emmanuel Dombo, we kind of had the same thinking about this. The reason that's why Uganda is sending troops, it is political PR, most especially when you are a dictatorship like this NRM regime. You want to engage globally so that you can be seen as an ally of the West that always come out to tell you that you are an authoritarian. In fact, Emmanuel Dombo said these statements. Here's the tape.
Uganda today has got a very dicey relationship with Washington.
Yeah.
Very dicey. Two, the main opposition leader is actually hobnobbing in the US. And now the US is saying, excuse, can you do this? Okay, you are President Museveni, what would you do? Yes, what would you do? So the circumstances are such that you are caught between a rock and a rock. Ideologically, there is no way we would participate in anything that sort of maybe has any movement for the Palestinian people, because we have got a historical relationship as a country. These liberation movements, whether apartheid and so on, and President Museveni as an individual has got a real ideological connection with many of these liberation movements and so on.
So when I listen to the gentleman, the honorable, maybe it is true, it's because of politics. Right now, BOBI WINE is in America. So the only thing Museveni can do to liberate himself from the bad ideas the West has, because we are led by an authoritarian, is participating in these issues. True, if indeed Museveni is a revolutionary, there is no revolutionary who can come out and support Israel, away from the faith affiliation, because Palestinians have been subjugated for a long period of time. They have been killed, they have been surrounded, no water, they have been killed like goats. So if indeed Museveni is a revolutionary, he would send a force to help the Palestinians, not to act as a, because if Trump has asked General Museveni, we all know our forces may be coming out as a machinery for hire to fight for the Israelis. It is the truth. Okay. So for me, I think it is because of politics on an international stage by doing PR. I don't believe that we have the quorum of being in the Palestinian-Israeli war. No, Let's continue with Honorable.
How does he look at this particular situation he's in, especially when he goes there and there is a potential conflict between the UPDF and the Hamas or the Palestinian people? As I said, sometimes I could even go beyond this, but being what I am, I'll not. I think it's a very difficult position we are in, and this is different from our mission in Somalia, because I'm a Pan-Africanist. We needed it. We had to liberate South Africa. South Africa we did, and participated in that liberation struggle of South Africa. We did in Somalia. We did in South Sudan. There was a cause. You can't mix up the two, because this one is not our cause. And we didn't volunteer. This is an invitation, which a lawyer would say, I need your invitation.
So that is what the Honorable said. So I had the same issue with that, because the gentleman who stood up in Parliament was conflicted. The peacekeeping mission that we have been engaged into, the Somalia, Sudan, it is like Sudan, for example, it was our neighbor. If your neighbor is in turmoil and have the capability maybe to settle some things, you can do. Because if the war continues as it is, refugees can come in your country. A neighboring country under war can have a direct effect. But a Uganda millions of miles away to go in a region where even their things are not attached to us, there it is because of politics and PR on an international stage. Of course, that's our opinion. My name is truly Mr. Makindi Kabesula Imani Magali. If you're into this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I'm motivated to do more such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.